Good morning, everyone. So, I'm going to talk today about an animal that you might have heard of, but you probably have not heard of. Are you ready? Let's try and draw it, okay? And we'll see if you can figure out what it might be. So, this animal it's called a bill, kind of like a duck bill, kind of like a beak, okay? So I'm gonna draw that. There's some nostrils so he can breathe. Okay, and then he has a brown, kind of longish body. So, okay, we'll draw his body. Now, his hands, his paws, hands, I don't know what we call them actually. They're webbed. That means there is skin in between the fingers, kind of like I think a duck has those on their feet so they can swim. So we're gonna make some, but his are really webbed. It almost looks like a fish. Okay, so so far it kind of looks like a lizard, right? Let's put some eyes. The eyes are gonna go like right here. That looks crazy. Then he has this, we're not gonna see it because I'm at the top of the paper, but he has this big long tail, okay? And then kind of like these little flipper feet. What is that? What is it? Ready? It's a platypus. Have you ever heard of that? A platypus? Maybe you have. I think there's a cartoon about it, right? Well, there he is, the platypus. How'd I do? Not too great. I tried. So, are you ready to read about it? Now, this guy looks like he would be a fiction story. He definitely doesn't look real, but he is. So we're going to read a non-fiction story all about the platypus. Say it, platypus. Now, the PL there is a blend, so we're going to talk about that some more too. Two letters together and you hear them both, but they stick together. The sun is setting. Many animals are going to sleep, but the platypus is just waking up. Now you see here, when you see words like that, they split it up to teach you how to say it. Platypus. Oh, look at him there. So if everyone else is going to sleep and he's just waking up, we know that word, nocturnal, just like Sherlock. Yeah. Splash! The platypus dives under the water. She twists and twirls. She spins and swoops. The platypus likes to play. The platypus is hungry. She scoops up a mouthful of bugs and worms. Yum. The platypus has thick, slick fur. She has a long, strong tail, like a beaver. She is about as long as a pet cat, but she is not as heavy. Okay, so she is as strong as a beaver, as long as a cat, but she's light. The platypus has webbed feet and a bill like a duck. See, I did say it right. She lays eggs too. But is she a bird? No. The platypus is a mammal. People are mammals too. Oh, we talked all about that word mammal. Do you remember? Mammals feed their babies, right? Do you remember? What do they feed their babies, all the mammals? Yeah, milk. They feed them from their bodies when they're little babies. The platypus digs a tunnel in the mud. Then she gathers grass and leaves from the riverbank. She is making a nest. The platypus lays 2 eggs in the nest. They are about the size of gumballs. Oh, so they're small. She snuggles the eggs between her tail and belly. Shh. The platypus is taking a nap. She sleeps during the day. Uh-oh. The platypus wakes up. She hears a noise. A snake is in her tunnel. It wants to eat her eggs. The snake hisses. Grrr. The platypus growls. Are they going to fight? What do you think? In nature, animals fight all the time. Are these two going to? Who would win? What do you think? Are you ready? No, they aren't going to fight. The platypus scares off the snake. It slithers away to find food somewhere else. The platypus eggs are safe for now. The eggs hatch in about 2 weeks. The tiny platypus babies drink their mom's milk. They stay in the tunnel for 4 months until they are bigger. Oh, look at that little baby. Now it is summer. The babies follow their mother out of the tunnel. They are hungry, but they cannot find food until they learn to swim. The platypus mom shows her babies how to swim. Her front feet push through the water. She steers with her back feet and tail. Then they learn how to get food. They use their bills like big spoons. Swoosh! The platypus babies are good swimmers now. They zip and zoom all night long. The platypus family loves to play. How about you? The end. What'd you guys think? Pretty interesting, right? Yeah. Wow. I wish I could be with you guys right now so we could talk about this platypus, because there was a lot of interesting facts in there. And honestly, the platypus is one of the most interesting animals there are, because there are so many different things that they can do and so many different parts to them. And the platypus is one of the only mammals that lays eggs. Yeah, it's just crazy. So let's, over here, we're gonna make a main idea and details web. So our main idea, I have two ideas in my mind. It could be all about the platypus, right? Because we just learned all about the platypus. Or the main idea, the big idea, it could be platypus is an interesting animal, because that's what I think. So the main idea could be all facts that we learned from the book, or if I wanted to give my opinion. Remember, an opinion is different because everyone can have their own, right? I think the platypus is super interesting, but maybe someone else doesn't, and that is okay. We can respectfully disagree. But I could still use that as my main idea because I could use all the facts as my details. Okay? So I am going to start mine with my opinion, okay? So I'm going to say the it's spelled very strange. The platypus is a very, and I'm going to say unique, and I'll say mammal because we learned they are mammals, okay? Now, you are also going to do a main idea and details. If you want to use my opinion as your main idea, please do. If you would like to put a different opinion, you may. You could also just use the facts and say all about the platypus, okay? Now, could I, if I wanted to, could we do how the platypus gets food? Yeah, I definitely could. It's not the main idea of this whole book, but we could definitely make one about it, right? Yeah. So I'm going to start this, and then you guys are going to do your own when we're done, okay? So the platypus is a very unique mammal. So I'm going to say they lay eggs. Now, do you notice I didn't start with a capital? That's okay when you're doing a main idea and details web, because it doesn't have to be whole sentences. But if I was going to write my paper after this, I definitely would have to use complete sentences with capitals, periods, exclamations, okay? So I said they lay eggs. They have webbed feet. Okay, so far I have facts. Can I put an opinion? I can, since I'm using an opinion. So I'm going to say they look, oh, you can't see it, sorry guys. They look, what do they look? Not crazy. They look like no other animal. They look like no one else. They are nocturnal. Okay? So we've been doing a lot of main idea and details lately, and we've even been doing some opinions. So this should be no problem for you guys. And I really, really want you to illustrate it, okay? So when I said they had webbed feet, I would draw some webbed feet. And I want to see your platypus, okay? Yay! Okay, guys, on to math.